Welcome. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm Tiffany, and I'm here to talk to you about this amazing new toy called Clixo. So for those of you that haven't heard of us before, I'm going to do like a super quick demo so that you can understand how the building toy works and what you can do with it. So here, let me start by saying that this is the absolute coolest toy you're ever going to see. This is what the building block looks like. And as you can see, it's very different from traditional building blocks and tiles. You can see that it's very flexible, it's very light, and it's very thin. It's kind of minimalist in that way, and it can actually fold into itself, which is super cool. So here I kind of just like made a button shape. You can also turn it into a spring because it goes very seamlessly from 2D into 3D, which is super cool. So one of the things that I can show you right now is how to build like a 3D structure using these 2D pieces. So I'm going to slowly put these into the shape of a letter T, snap them into place. As you can see again, it's flat, it's thin. And then I'm going to snap it into a new shape. And here, I've turned it into a 3D ball that you can actually toss. You can roll this around, you can play with it, and you can even stick it out on the magnetic wall behind me over there. But wait, hold on. Apart from being able to build a ball with just 6 pieces, I can actually build something else with just 6 pieces. So I'm just going to take this apart. And as you can see, I'm kind of rough with it because it is made of a very sturdy paper that will not break, and the magnets are attached to it very securely. So here I've reconfigured this shape into a new shape. And just like that, I am able to make an entirely new creation, which is a snake. The cool thing about Clixo is that it comes with these really strong magnets that snap into place with a really satisfying sound. And it also comes with grooves that allow it to be able to sort of hold its position, sort of like jointed position. It also makes a really nice tactile sound, which is kind of very ASMR-ish, that makes it incredibly engaging for kids. And for my last trick, I'm actually going to make yet another creation with just these 6 pieces. If I do it this time in a line and snap it into place, I can turn it into a crown, which doesn't fit my head, but would totally fit the head of like a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old or something. So these are just 3 creations that I've managed to do with these 6 pieces. Imagine the combinations and creations that you're going to be able to make with more pieces, with the different shapes that we offer with Clixo. And yeah, after you're done with it, you can actually just very simply stack it very neatly into a nice portable pile, and then it's ready to go. So this design is quite revolutionary. As I said, it's very different from traditional building toys in the sense that it's actually very flexible. Building toys in general are usually very geometric, very rigid, so most of the time you kind of need a flat surface to be able to stack them and pack them, or to even like create all of these different structures. But with Clixo, because it can actually fold into itself, it basically opens up these new avenues for building and these new possibilities. One of the shapes that we have is called a longy, like this one, which allows it to, you can actually strap it onto something and like turn it into something that hangs, which is really cool. And it also enables it to become a wearable, which again opens up new creative possibilities for kids to be able to express themselves. This toy took over 2 years of research and development and user testing in order to come up with like the sort of perfect base shape that this has. And you can kind of see it in, again, the details that we have. For example, it is very thin, it is very flexible, and it's very light. You can see that the magnets are very securely attached, so you don't have to worry about it falling apart or like getting loose and potentially choking a kid. And also, it's just very nice to play with in terms of the snaps, like the very sensory elements in it that allow it to sort of move and snap into place. That takes like an extraordinary amount of detail. And this is something that took 2 years to create by our founder, right here in our Brooklyn store, which we invite you to come check out at some point if you guys are ever in the New York area. So apart from the fact that it is very flexible and it opens up these new possibilities for creation and the sensory elements, one of the things I also want to talk about is the cool material that this is made of. So this is made out of a very proprietary special paper that was developed especially for Clixo. It allows it to be able to hold its shape like this because of the magnets, but it's also very like non-toxic and it's recyclable. So you can actually feel very secure in the fact that this is a very sustainable toy. Our packaging has no plastic elements in it and is made out of a biodegradable bamboo, so it's very good for the environment. It's biodegradable and it's compostable. So I'm sure you guys are wondering what the packs are like because we offer a bunch of packs. And one of the packs that I can show you right now is the Itsy pack. So the Itsy pack is actually our smallest pack. And because it's the smallest pack, it's also like super travel friendly, it's very light, but it also gives you sort of like the full range of experience because it comes with all of these different shapes within the kit. With the Itsy pack, you are gonna have to pick the color that you want it in. So you can pick it in either the flamingo and turquoise color, the yellow and pink color, or the blue and green color. And with this full range of shapes, you are able to still create like a whole bunch of different creations. As you were able to see earlier in the live stream, I was able to create 3 different creations with 6 different pieces. And the Itsy pack comes with 18 pieces. Some of the creations that you can make with the Itsy pack are this little adorable little mouse that you can make with 2 flop pieces, a bunch of quad pieces, and a long tail, which is really fun. Or you can even make something like this, which is our version of a little whale, which you can kind of see from the side, from the head and the tail. But because Clixo is very creative, you can also see that it can be a snail. So it can kind of double into like a new type of creation. You basically just need to get creative with it and experiment with it and just go with the flow and see what you come up with. The next pack that I'm going to talk about is our crew pack. And our crew pack is our bigger version of the Itsy pack. So whatever creations you make with the Itsy, you are going to be able to make this with the crew pack. The crew pack is basically the one thing that comes with the crew pack that is super, super cool and super fun is this little thing called a spinner. This little thing. So this is a steel ball that is encased in plastic. It's very securely encased, so again, you don't have to worry about any of the toys like falling apart. It's like very securely attached into place. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that you can use the spinner for this cool creation over here. You can make a little helicopter with the spinner pack, and it's very fun to play with because it's just kind of hypnotic to watch. And in order to be able to create this helicopter, which you can make with the crew pack, you kind of need to create the ball, which is what I did in the demo. And then this is like part of a snake, which I also made in the demo. And then this is like the end, which you can use with this thing called a tridot, which I can show you right here. It's a different shape. This is what it looks like. And it also comes in our crew pack. And then the spinners and the flop pieces. So yeah, this is one of the coolest things that you can make with the helicopter. And I can show you another creation that you can make with the helicopter, which is, with the crew pack, which is this. You can make a little shooting star, which is like super fun, with like little tails, which uses a different piece that we include in the pack, as well as like 5 different quad pieces. So that is an example of what you can make with the crew pack. And now I'm going to talk to you about the rainbow pack. Our rainbow pack is our bestseller. It's our bestseller on our website, which is Clixo.com. It is our bestseller on Amazon. It is our bestseller everywhere. And the reason why it is our bestseller is because it has the full collection of bright colors and shapes and sizes and the spinner piece that everybody loves. It basically gives you sort of the full experience, the full rainbow of possibilities of experience, and you can create so many cool things with it. So apart from being able to create any creation that the ITZY and the crew can make, the Rainbow can make all sorts of creations like this one, which is like a little rocket ship that we really like. And you can make this, for example, with like this piece, which is like part of the snake piece. And as you can see from me trying to tear this apart, our magnets are super strong and super durable. So yeah, this piece, which is like part of the snake, and little flat piece. So one of the things I want to talk to you about Clixo is the fact that it kind of forces you to experiment with different shapes and sizes. It allows you to sort of take like the head or the body and sort of like turn it into something else. Like you can edit it in order to fit into it. You kind of break down the invention into its sort of like base parts, so that you can be able to create whatever you want. And I think that that's also like a good lesson for grown-ups in general, to be able to break things into little manageable bits in order to tackle it and create something completely new and awesome. And the last piece that I'm going to talk to you about is our Super Rainbow Pack. Our Super Rainbow Pack, which is over here, is our biggest collection. It's basically just a much bigger collection of rainbow pieces. So you have all of the pieces, but more of them, and you also get all of the colors. It also allows you to create sort of bigger creations than you can do with the Rainbow Pack. And it also gives you enough pieces so that you can play with it like with your siblings or with your friends, and you guys can both go on like these little like creation, exploration, like expeditions and stuff. Some of the things that you can make with the Super Rainbow Pack are, this is an example of it. This is our little kitty cat. And with the spinner piece, you can kind of make the tail wag. You can also turn it into a nose, so it doesn't even have to be a propeller piece. And another cool thing that you can do is really customize an invention and totally make it your own. So for this particular piece, we added like little whiskers for the cat to really give it like a little bit of like extra something something. So it's like custom and it's really like yours and personalized. I'm also going to show you another invention, and this one was created by 15-year-old Milo Brooks, who made it in our store, and it is one of the coolest things I have ever seen. This massive Stegosaurus creation, which is huge, but you can totally make this with the Super Rainbow Pack and just let your imagination like fly with it. So this is the tail, this is his head, his little eyes are the spinners. You can even open his mouth and close it, which is really, really cool. And then he has his like little spikes over here. So yeah, these are basically some of the amazing possibilities that you can make with Clixo. And one of the things that we like to talk about when it comes to Clixo is the fact that there's really absolutely no wrong way to Clixo. You know, you can be like as young as 2 years old or as old as, well, our age and be able to create whatever you want with it. We found that kids as young as 2 to 4 really enjoy sort of like stacking the pieces together because it's very sensory. Like the snap is really nice, and then they start to stack it or they start sorting the pieces into different shapes or different colors, and that's like a nice way to sort of like get into it. And then they start building in like 2D, which is really flat, like against the wall or against a table or the floor. And then as they get older, like sort of the ages from like 5 and up, that's when they start to really take flight in terms of the 3D building aspect. So they basically start to build more in 3D, or they start to think about like other possibilities. So that's where like the wearables come in. They can like create their own gauntlet. They can create like some sort of like superhero like headpiece or whatever, or a mask, or they can make something even more amazing like a big Clixo chandelier or something. Again, as you can see from our office in Clinton Hill, Brooklyn, you can see like some of the amazing possibilities that are in store when you play around with Clixo. Like there are all of these different like things that you can do with it. And the other thing that I also want to talk about is the fact that we also don't want you to fall in love with your creation. Like Clixo is really meant to be sort of like taken apart and put back together again. We've found that in our years of research and sort of like observations of like kids and parents and educators, we've seen that a lot of the toys these days in the toy industry, a lot of the kids end up sort of building from instructions, like from A to Z. And they keep sort of, like the focus for them is to focus on like getting it right or making the build perfect. But there is no such thing as a perfect build. Like for Clixo, we want you to sort of take it apart, build it back up, like change things, like edit things along the way. And that's where you really start to discover new things. Again, as somebody who has been playing around with Clixo for well over a year now, there are so many things that I have discovered and so many new builds that I have created over time. Like sometimes sort of the epiphanies come like immediately as you start clicking and playing with it, and other times it sort of just takes time for it to digest and you're like, oh yeah, I could totally do this. So there are totally, like there's so many different ways to play and create, and there's so many ways to have fun with it. And that's really like the beauty of Clixo. It's just fun, it's easy, it's intuitive enough for kids of any age, whether you're 2 or like 99, to be able to start like snapping the pieces together, connecting them and seeing the shapes that you come up with, but also challenging enough so that you have to sort of like force yourself to create within the constraints. Like if you only have, say, like 6 pieces in front of you, it sort of challenges you to think like, oh, what can I do with 6 pieces? I can make a star if I take off the longy pieces. So yeah, that's something that we feel like is really important to talk about when it comes to Clixo, like our very zen approach to sort of like experimenting versus like perfecting a build and perfecting a toy. Like we really want kids to fall in love with the act of making something with their own 2 hands and just like exploring. Because nobody gets it right the first time around, like it takes time, and the exploration is part of the fun of it. The last thing that I want to bring up before we end the live stream today is the fact that we do have a lot of resources on our website that you can totally avail of. We've got some really cool like activity ideas that were created by amazing teachers. One is from @MrAndy244 and the other one is from @LearnWithJoey. These are 2 amazing New York City educators who have come up with really good ideas that you can incorporate in your homeschool environment, in your school, regular school environment, or even if you're just like somebody who wants to like build in the car. And these are activities for kids of all ages. I mean, the games one over here, basically shows like game ideas that you can play with the whole family. Like as long as you're willing to get down and get silly, like you can totally play with this like as an adult or as a kid. Over here, we also have like a bunch of really cool video content that we have on our website that show like step-by-step videos. Like as much as we don't super believe in like instructions, and we do believe in like creation like by yourself and just exploring on your own, we know that sometimes like kids and adults also need like a little bit of a nudge when it comes to like building things. Like it can be a little bit intimidating, but then once you start playing with the play system, you'll find out that it's actually just super fun, super easy, and just great to play with. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna try to check out the chat and see if there are any questions. But in the meantime, we invite you to buy a Clixo, try it out for yourselves, see what clicks, leave us a review, or like check out our Instagram page. Like we have so many different pictures like filled with like inspirational ideas of like things that you can build. We'd also love for you guys to tag us in any of the creations that you make. We always love seeing how creative our community gets. It's always so cool to see some of the cool ideas, and because honestly, like kids are way more creative than adults, and they come up with like really the most awesome stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I'm gonna very quickly look at my screen and see if there's anything in the chat, but it looks like I've pretty much answered all of your questions. So, and if you guys are ever in the New York area, we would invite you to come check out our Clixo store in Clinton Hill, Brooklyn. As you can see, it's really just like a wonderful wonderland filled with like all sorts of creations. I'm gonna adjust the screen very smoothly so you can see that we have everything from like little Clixo chandeliers, like little display cases, and you can see like our side view of a little penguin over there. And we even have like a little car where kids are invited to just like build and leave their mark on it. And yeah, that's it for today's live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit more about Clixo. I hope this intrigued you, and I hope this inspired you to just get creative and do something fun and just play around. Everyone deserves a little playtime. But yeah, have a great rest of the day, and hopefully I'll catch you guys at the next live stream.